Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Canton City Council. Council members, please make sure your earbuds are in. And if we could ask everybody to have their cell phones to vibrate, please. We are encouraging social distancing tonight in council chambers. With a quorum being present, the chair calls this meeting of Canton City Council to order. Roll call, please, Mr. Clerk.
Smuckler.
Here.
Babcock.
Here.
Shulman.
Here.
Hawk.
Here.
Kimbrough.
Here.
Scaglione.
Here.
Smith.
Here.
Fisher. Hall.
Here.
Merrill.
Here.
Ferguson.
Here.
Morris.
Here.
11 present, 1 absent, Mr. President.
Leader.
Mr. President, I move we excuse Member Fisher from tonight's meeting.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to excuse Member Fisher from this evening's meeting. Are there any remarks?
Mr. President,
Leader Smuckler.
I would ask you if we could have a moment of silence for Mr. Fisher's family for this evening. And I think most of you know that based on his family loss, this has not been an easy 2 years for Member Fisher.
I would agree. At this time, could we please have a moment of silence, please? Amen. Are there any additional remarks? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Smuckler.
Aye.
Babcock. Shulman.
Aye.
Hawk.
Aye.
Kimbrough. Scaglione.
Aye.
Smith. Hall.
Aye.
Merrill.
Aye.
Ferguson.
Aye.
Morris.
Aye.
11 yeas, Mr. President.
The motion carries and Member Fisher is excused from this evening's meeting. Tonight's invocation will be given by Ward 8 Council Member Peter Ferguson. If you would all please stand and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Heavenly Father, we ask you to be with us this day and each day. Give us your guidance and your wisdom so as to lead all people in justice and truth. Bless our world with peace and goodwill so that someday we will live in unity and brotherhood. Give us the understanding to choose what is right and helpful for the common good of all.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, justice for all.
For all.
Thank you, Member Ferguson. Slight delay on the pledge, but we're now under agenda and corrections and changes. Leader.
Mr. President, I move Rule 22A be suspended for second readings of Ordinances 8 and 9 added to this evening's agenda.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to suspend Rule 22A to add second readings to Ordinances 8 and 9 to this evening's agenda. Are there any remarks? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Smuckler.
Aye.
Babcock. Aye. Shulman.
Aye.
Hawk. Kimbrough. Scaglione. Smith. Hall. Merrill.
Aye.
Ferguson. Morris.
Aye.
11 yeas, Mr. President.
The motion carries and Ordinances 8 and 9 are a legal part of your agenda. We are now under public hearings and we have one for this evening. Mr. Clerk, would you please announce the public hearing?
An ordinance authorizing Canton to annex a territory known as Canton Service Center, 30th Street Northeast Annexation Area containing approximately 6.389 acres, assigning said territory as I-1 Light Industrial.
Is there anyone in the audience wishing to speak for or against this ordinance? Please step forward. I must repeat, is there anyone in the audience wishing to speak for or against this ordinance? Please step forward. Seeing no one step forward, the chair declares the public hearing over in regards to this matter. The matter now rests in the hands of council. The ordinance will follow later this evening. We are now under old business, and there is no old business for this evening. We are now under public speaks, and we have 5 speakers for this evening. Our first speaker is Laura Simon. And I would like to remind our speakers that you do have 3 minutes, okay? And you're more than welcome to take your mask off if you would like to speak that way.
Thank you.
Ms. Simon, could you please state your name and residential address, please?
My name is Laura Simon. I live at 520 32nd Street Northwest, Canton, Ohio 44709. It has been 14 months ago when I voiced my opinion in this exact room that I opposed the sale of the Arthur Sorelli building and the property to the Stark Metropolitan Housing Authority for $1 to build garden apartments and 4 retail storefronts. What a year. I'm here tonight not to be a complaining resident of Canton, but to offer my help. Sometimes just friendly small talk. All the while, my dog Penny is on her leash. A dog park would give Canton dogs the freedom to run, walk, and sniff at their leisure without a leash. Owners of the dogs would be able to sit and watch their pet in a controlled area. This simple action has the potential of uniting neighbors and neighborhoods together because we can see, talk, and enjoy the scenery and the beauty of our city. My vision for the proposed dog park is a fenced-in area for the safety of the dogs to run and play, a few shade trees, and a water source. Of course, we will need a poop station for cleanup purposes. A dusk to dawn operation with involvement of many different organizations to teach the residents of the many resources that involve pet care. I don't at this time have an artist's drawing for my vision. However, what I do have is me. I would like to be involved. I don't have to reinvent the wheel. That is city government's job. But it is my duty to keep the wheel moving forward. You now know where I live. Canton City, put to use what we already own that doesn't involve the downtown district or the Hall of Fame Village. Canton City, reinvest in the residents of this city that you work for. Canton City, help me help you to create a uniting dog park. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Simon. Our next speaker is Ms. Kimberly Bell. Ms. Bell, could you please step forward and give us your name and residential address, please?
Yes. Kimberly Bell, 1733 Morris Avenue. First, I want to continue my conversation about the mayor and you playing musical chairs in this building for over decades, and you need to step down and allow others to have that same position. Like I said, in the past meeting, you've been playing musical chairs in this building, and you move from seat to seat to seat, and now I guess you're at the top of the ladder as being mayor. But I want that opportunity, and I'm going to run for it, and I hope that you would mentor me into becoming a mayor. But there's a few that I want to address too. since December, I've dealt with every issue I've been bringing to this table. I've dealt with homelessness. I've dealt with job issues. And those are the issues I brought here back when Mr. Hall and Ms. Schumann did what they did to me. It was the jobs for people that's coming home from prison. It was the gun violence. It was the issue of city council helping with the housing situation. So I've dealt with homelessness since December. I've dealt with jobs since December. I've dealt with violence since December, and none of those three issues have been on this paper where $11 million or more dollars is being spent from city council. You have not addressed one of the issues I brought here back in. You've addressed it, but you spoke about it and you pretend like you were doing something, but you didn't really do anything. So you as the mayor, you've been playing musical chairs for decades in this building. Tackle some of the issues, like me, for instance. I'm living in a public housing, and how that building has been there for so many years, and it's so run down. I mean, they do the minor work in it, but you want to spend millions of dollars on this woman. She said on that property somebody Metropolitan bought for $1, and she wants to put apartments there. Address some of the issues that I brought to you and stop playing musical chairs like you're doing something, and let's put a modern day administration in this building.
Thank you, Ms. Bell. Our next speaker is Ms. Ida Ross Freeman. Ms. Freeman, could you please step forward and give us your name and residential address, please?
Good evening.
And if you would like to take your mask off, you're more than welcome to.
Good evening. And thanks for allowing me to come up and speak. I'm here again complaining about my next door neighbors. I thought we had an ordinance that was implemented some years ago about landlord tenants. If landlord rent housing to tenants that are not becoming to our civility code, that the landlord would have to pay something. The property would be taken. This house next to me is a trap house, and all kinds of things be going on over there. And my house has been shot at 2 or 3 times, and the police don't seem to be doing anything about it. Although they did tell me they had a raid last week. I think it was Thursday. It's mighty strange. They had a raid, and they had the man that bring the drug in will sit out there for over 2 weeks conducting, I call it Wendy's business with drugs and whatever else goes on there. And the very day that they raided the place, this man was gone. It's like, I'm an old woman. Deductive theory said to me that maybe y'all got a leak, because he was gone. The main contributor to this mess was not there. And I don't know if they arrested anybody, but business is still going on as usual. We need help. The drive-by shooting, the defecating in the yard, the urinating in the yard. They have no electricity. They have no gas. They have no water. I can only imagine what the stench is going to be like when it gets hot over there. I know we live in a broken neighborhood, but it's a part of the city, and I do pay my taxes. And I expect some help. Maybe I'm expecting too much. I don't know. But I expect some help. Thank you.
Ms. Freeman?
Yes?
Could you please state your name and your residential address, please? Thank you.
Ida Ross Freeman, 1129 7th Street Northwest, Canton Ohio 44703.
Thank you, Ms. Freeman.
Okay, thank you.
Our next speaker is Ms. Kim Justice. Ms. Justice, could you please step forward and give us your name and residential address, please?
Yes, sir. My name is Kimberly Justice. I live at 1317 14th Street Northwest, 44703.
Yep.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My comments here echo a lot of what Ida had to say about what's happening in the community. For around 5 months last year, when the world was advised to stay home for safety and solace, I was harassed, threatened, menaced by a violent juvenile parolee on a weekly, sometimes daily basis. His behavior was enabled by many. And I have to mention specifically Stark County Family Court Magistrate Jacqueline Huntley, who minimized this juvenile's criminal actions because of his emotions. And with the nicer weather, it's beginning all over again. The juvenile began harassing me as I would come and go, and that turned to a brick through my window at midnight on May 19th, 2020. On May 31st, my house was egged. On June 7th, he began shouting violent, vulgar threats to, excuse me, and I'm going to comment as he did, to beat my ass and blow my home up. Canton police were called. Officer Andrew Moore responded to the scene and chastised me for speaking out to this juvenile who had been yelling vulgar threats at my house all day and said I deserved the threat that I got. The juvenile likes to enlist others in his mean-spirited pursuits, and after a few visits to help his son menace us, the juvenile's father was arrested in his car outside my home with heroin bagged to sell, large amounts of cash, with a BB and pellet gun on June 8th. A week or so later, on June 17th, the juvenile was clearly intoxicated in public. He was rolling in the street and laughing maniacally. On June 30th, in the middle of the night, a large 4-inch rock was thrown through another window. The juvenile comments about this online, laughing at our security video and photos documenting our damages. City officials are telling us the family is moving, though, should stop the problems. Sure, they moved on August 2nd of last year, but the juvenile was right back in the neighborhood at 11:19 p.m. after curfew for parole, pacing in the street and rambling, loudly spewing his violent sexual threats in the street outside my home. On August 4th, he's back and announcing he's here for trouble. It's 2:14 p.m. This day, he watched my home for 4 hours while I was working outside of my property. He would occasionally shout vulgar, violent threats. Throughout early August, he had been repeatedly breaking into his old residence across the street from mine and squatting there. On August 28th, he's there all night in and out of the vacant property. We wake up to find him drunk in the garage. Canton police are called. They won't make a police report. They give him a ride home.
Ms. Davis, could you please bring your remarks to a close, please?
Oh, I'm sorry. This is still happening. I am still being threatened. The juvenile is still in the community wreaking havoc even though he was on parole. And last weekend, he kicked the door open on a 96-year-old woman's home and destroyed many of her belongings and bled all over her residence during the commission of the crime.
And just to clarify, Ms. Davis,
Justice.
Ms. Justice, to clarify your address, please.
1317 14th Street Northwest.
1317 14th Street?
Yes.
Okay.
This juvenile was arrested and released immediately and is out in the community now. He's on parole, he's a violent offender, and the citizens of this community need some help because what Canton is doing clearly isn't working.
Ms. Justice, and I would encourage you to stick around for the meeting, till after the meeting, so we can have a good discussion with the right people and see what we can do.
I can do that.
All right.
Yeah,
Well,
you didn't hear half of it.
And that's fine, out of respect for the rest of the speakers.
I understand that. Thank you for
coming
listening.
tonight.
You want me to stick around, talk about his musical chairs?
Ms. Bell,
Yeah,
you're always welcome to stick around.
okay.
Our last speaker for this evening is Cliffy Davis. Ms. Davis, could you please step forward and give us your name and residential address, please?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Can't breathe. Mrs. Cliffy Davis, 147 31st Street, Ward 9. I come humbly but with good intentions. And first, I want to commend the work that you all have done in Canton. Our mayor, I thank you because I'm a product of Canton. I'm happy to be here. I come for two issues, and the two issues is about youth camps and youth employment. I want to first address the mayor. I, along with the committee, we've been meeting for weeks, planning a community-wide back-to-school event to bring most and almost all, hopefully, organizations together for a free backpack and school supplies for our community. And it's basically to show unity in the community. And I'm not saying that every group and organization has to participate, but it would appear unified together if majority of Canton would come together with one event instead of like 6 or 8. And sir, at a different date, I would love to share the plan and garner your support. But today I kind of speak on two main areas. Again, youth employment and summer camps. We're 2 months away. And we're coming out of a pandemic and suffering financial struggles and social isolation, and people have lost their family members. I've lost my brother, not with COVID, but things have been going on while we've been at home. And yet, I have not yet heard an announcement about our plans for our youth. And I do not mean just the basic normal activities that we've seen the previous years, given the high level of crime, which we see, and which I anticipate more. Every urban city in Ohio is announcing plans for summer camps and programs for children, but us. With our millions of CARE Act dollars, we need to put a robust plan together for our children. I'm a product of JTPA. My mom and dad got divorced, and that was what saved our life. It helped me get my school closed. Summer camps made me who I am today. Pro-social skills were important to me. And I'm disappointed to seeing that there's no summer camp funding for the low-income areas. So I come to you humbly and boldly, speaking on behalf of the youth, the future of this city, the future that will sit here and take you all's spot, my children, that we need to have summer camps. We need summer camps. We need youth funding. We need employment, for our youth. The CARE Act has millions of dollars. I'm asking, where are the funds at for our youth, for the summer camps? And I'm startled, I'm disappointed, and I come as an advocate, not to come and spit on anyone negatively, but just to come as a mother of this community. We're recovering from a pandemic, and this is a call to action, and not to attack, but a call to action, leaders. We need you, leaders. We need you, leaders, for our future leaders. Thank you.
And Ms. Davis, I would encourage you to stay after the meeting also.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, but thank you for coming tonight. We are now under informal resolutions, and we have 2 for this evening. Mr. Clerk, would you please begin with ordinance or resolution? Now, just for clarity, Clerk Doherty, we're doing 6 and 7, or just 7? 7 and 8, sorry about that. We are now under informal resolutions, and we have 2 for this evening. Mr. Clerk, would you please read informal resolution number 7 by title?
Approve reappointment of James Reinhardt to Stark Area Regional Transit Authority Board commencing retro 4/1/21 through 3/31/24.
Leader?
President, move we adopt resolution number 7.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to adopt informal resolution number 7. Are there any remarks? Hearing none by voice vote, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The motion carries and resolution number 7 is adopted. Informal resolution number 8, please.
Approve reappointment of Chet Warren to Stark Area Regional Transit Authority Board commencing retro 4/1/21 through 3/31/24.
Leader?
Mr. President, I move we adopt resolution number 8.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to adopt informal resolution number 8. Are there any remarks? Hearing none, by voice vote, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The motion carries and resolution number 8 is adopted. We are now under communications. Let the journal show that all communications are received as read. We are now under ordinances and formal resolutions for their first reading. Mr. Clerk, please begin with ordinance number 1.
An ordinance authorizing the auditor to pay Redwood Toxicology Laboratory Inc. moral obligation amount not to exceed $1,467 for the Canton Municipal Court and declaring same to be an emergency. Referred to Finance. Number 2, resolution accepting the Tax Incentive Review Council's recent recommendations regarding enterprise zone agreements and declaring same to be an emergency. Referred to Community and Economic Development. Number 3, an ordinance amending sections 1198.12 medical marijuana facilities, including cultivation facilities, processing facilities, dispensaries, and testing laboratories of Chapter 1198 conditional use of the Planning and Zoning Code. Referred to Judiciary. Number 4, ordinance approving accepting a replat about lot 1111 and declaring same to be an emergency. Referred to Public Safety and Thoroughfares. Number 5, an ordinance authorizing Canton Board of Health to enter into any and all contracts necessary to respond to the COVID-19 vaccination scheduling emergency. Authorizing the auditor to pay any and all moral obligations from responding to this emergency situation, declaring same to be an emergency. Referred to Finance. Number 6, resolution approving the statement of services to be provided to the property owners in the Hall of Fame Village Number 7 annexation area. Approximate date services will be provided. Procedure to reconcile incompatible zoning uses upon its being annexed to the city of Canton, declaring same to be an emergency. Refer to Annexation. Number 7, ordinance renaming Avalon Avenue Northeast from the south line of State Route 153 Mahoney Road Northeast to the northwest line of lots 40228 and 40231 to Burn Hall Avenue Northeast. Mr. President. All that's referred to Public Safety and Thoroughfares.
At this time, the chair would declare an in-house recess for Finance, Annexation, and Public Safety and Thoroughfare Committees to meet in regards to ordinances 5 through 7 on your agenda this evening. You are now in recess.
Mr. President, it is 7:32. We'll call Finance to order. We have an ordinance authorizing the Canton Board of Health to enter into any and all contracts necessary to respond to the COVID-19 vaccination scheduling emergency, authorizing the auditor to pay any and all moral obligations from responding to this emergency situation and declaring the same to be an emergency. Commissioner Adams, can you hear us?
Yeah, this is Jim from the Health Department. Can you hear me now?
Yes. Yes, go ahead.
Yep, sorry. Yeah, this ordinance is requesting your approval of contracts that may exceed the $50,000 limit as stated in the your section on contracts. We currently have a contract with an organization called Seymour Center for Marketing and Opinion Research. They manage our wait list and our scheduling for us, for the residents of the city of Canton. When we started out with this, we had a number of hours that were set aside for the scheduling. As the scheduling has gone on for our vaccination work, that has crept up over the $50,000 limit that the ordinance requires, and so we would ask your approval of that to continue on with this process.
Okay. Anybody have any questions on this?
Yeah, Director Adams.
What percentage of our population currently in Canton has been vaccinated? Do we have any idea of a percentage on that yet?
No, and the reason why is because the only data that I have access for, reliable data, is for clinics that we have done, and I don't have the access to the data that other providers have done for residents in the city of Canton. I can tell you that we have done approximately 6,000 initial doses of vaccine and around 4,000 or so second doses of vaccine, and I would estimate that our at least initially, our residential part of that was way over 70%.
Yeah.
For clarity.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
No, don't worry about it.
Thank you.
Okay. Member Morris, does that answer your question?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Any other questions? I do have a question. When you came and presented to us, we discussed about calling people back that left messages to allow them to know that they were enrolled on our list. Is that happening now?
Yes, that does continue. As we've implemented a new scheduling system as required by the state of Ohio, a portion of our schedule is done automatically, and that has actually allowed our CMOR groups to focus more on residents of the city of Canton. So they make periodic robocalls to people that are on the list to let them know they're still on the list and what the status is of their wait time.
At this point, would you say that access to the vaccine or enrollment to get vaccinated, which is the obstacle?
I will still say that the amount of vaccine available in the community is the major obstacle. We have more demand than there is vaccine available.
Okay. Okay. All right. Does anyone else have any other questions? All right. Well, thank you very much. We will sign this out. It is 7:36. That concludes finance.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
We'll call annexation to order. This is a resolution approving the statement of services to be provided to the property owners in the Hall of Fame Village Number 7 annexation area, and the approximate day of services will be provided, procedure to reconcile incompatible zoning uses upon its being annexed into the city of Canton, and declaring the same to be an emergency. Questions or concerns? This is a single request, 100% annexation to the city. Hearing none, we'll sign it out. Thank you very much. It is 7:37.
Call to order. Public Safety and Thoroughfares Committee. An ordinance authorizing the Canton Board of Health to enter into all contracts necessary to respond to the COVID-19 vaccination scheduling emergency, and authorizing the auditor to pay any moral obligations from responding to this.
No, hold on.
What are you reading?
No, okay, that's all right. Number 7.
And she's got it. She's got it.
Ordinance renaming Avalon Avenue northeast from the south line of SR 153 Mahoney Road northeast to the northwest line of the lot 40228 and 40231 to Burns Hall Avenue northeast.
Mr. President, Madam Chairman.
Mayor?
This request for this ordinance was initiated by a communication from member Kevin Hall, the 6th Ward Councilman. It was also initiated approximately a year ago by Treasurer Kim Perez and myself with the request. Most of us know Mr. Hall. He passed away in April of 2020. This coming Sunday, there will be a celebration of his life. Vern Hall was 86 years old. He died of COVID. He served his country in the United States Army. We best know him, though, for his local work. He served or worked at Republic Steel for 40 years of service. He was also a 50-year auxiliary sheriff and one of the originators of that service, and participated in some pretty incredible events as an auxiliary. In 1969, he escorted Neil Armstrong when he came home after taking his first step on the moon. But we all know Vern Hall, best of all, I think, for his service as a member of VFW Post 3747 on Avalon Northeast. He served as quartermaster there for over 30 years. He received numerous state awards as Quartermaster of the Year, and in 2015, he was awarded Veteran of the Year Award. Again, as I indicated, there will be a celebration of his life this coming Sunday, April 11, from 1 o'clock to 4 p.m. at the VFW Hall. All are welcome to attend. On that occasion, we would like to present Member Hall with Treasurer Perez and myself to the wonderful family that survives Vern with the renaming of the road. And that is the road that lies just to the west, just to the east of the VFW, running from Mahoning Road to the south to the end of their property.
Thank you, Mayor Burnaby.
Are there any questions? The time is 7:40. This concludes the meeting for public. Thank you.
Thank you, Member Kimbrough. Good. Council is reconvening after the recess. Leader.
Mr. President, I move we suspend statutory rules on ordinances 5 through 7 on this evening's agenda.
Second.
I'm sorry, Mr. President, I move we suspend Rule 22A to place ordinances 5 through 7 back on this evening's agenda.
Second.
And just for clarity, number 6 is resolution number 6. Correct, Clerk Doherty?
Yes.
Okay. It's been moved and seconded to suspend Rule 22A to place ordinances 5, 7, and resolution number 6 back on this evening's agenda. Are there any remarks? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Smucker.
Aye.
Babcock. Aye. Shulman.
Aye.
Hawk. Kimbrough. Scaglione. Smith. Hall. Merrill.
Aye.
Ferguson. Morris.
Aye.
11 yeas, Mr. President.
The motion carries, and ordinances 5 and 7 and resolution number 6 are part of your agenda. Leader.
Mr. President, I move we suspend statutory rules on ordinances 5 and 7 and resolution number 6.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to suspend the statutory rules on ordinances 5 and 7 and resolution number 6. Are there any remarks? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Smucker. Babcock. Shulman.
Aye.
Hawk. Kimbrough. Scaglione. Smith. Hall. Merrill.
Aye.
Ferguson. Morris.
Aye.
11 yeas, Mr. President.
You've heard the three readings, Leader.
Mr. President, I move we adopt ordinance number 5.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that you adopt ordinance number 5. Are there any remarks under this ordinance? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Smucker.
Aye.
Babcock. Showman.
Aye.
Hawk. Kimbrough. Scaglione. Smith. Hall. Merrill.
Aye.
Ferguson. Morris.
Aye.
11 yeas, Mr. President.
The motion carries and ordinance number 5 is adopted, Leader.
Mr. President, I move we adopt resolution number 6.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that you adopt resolution number 6. Are there any remarks? Leader?
Mr. President, I move to amend resolution number 6 by the amendment before every council member.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to amend resolution number 6 per the copy before each of you. Are there any remarks? Hearing none, by voice vote, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Those opposed, no. The ayes have it, the motion carries. Leader?
Mr. President, I move we adopt resolution number 6 as amended.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that you adopt resolution number 6 as amended. Are there any remarks under this resolution as amended? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Smucker. Babcock. Showman.
Aye.
Hawk. Kimbrough. Scaglione. Smith. Hall. Merrill.
Aye.
Ferguson. Morris.
Aye.
11 yeas, Mr. President.
The motion carries and resolution number 6 as amended has been adopted. Leader?
Mr. President, I move we adopt ordinance number 7.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that you adopt ordinance number 7. Are there any remarks under this ordinance? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Smucker.
Aye.
Babcock. Showman.
Aye.
Hawk. Kimbrough. Scaglione. Smith. Hall. Merrill.
Aye.
Ferguson. Morris.
Aye.
11 yeas, Mr. President.
Motion carries and ordinance number 7 has been adopted. We are now under ordinances and formal resolutions for their second reading. Mr. Clerk, please begin with ordinance number 8.
An ordinance authorizing the clerk of council to certify to the county auditors a list of unpaid and delinquent charges for services performed by and/or on behalf of the City of Canton Engineering Department, Urban Forestry Division, declaring same to be an emergency. Number 9, ordinance authorizing the Mayor and Director of Public Service to execute a professional services contract with the IBI Group for design of the Perry Drive Northwest Water Main Replacement Project, amending the 2021 final appropriation ordinance and declaring same to be an emergency. Mr. President.
We are now under ordinances and formal resolutions for their third final reading and vote. Mr. Clerk, please begin with ordinance number 10.
Ordinance authorizing the auditor to pay all moral obligations for Kempthorne Inc. expenses for rental van, declaring same to be an emergency.
Leader?
Mr. President, I move we adopt ordinance number 10.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to adopt ordinance number 10. Are there any remarks? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Smucker. Babcock. Showman.
Aye.
Hawk. Kimbrough. Scaglione. Smith. Hall. Merrill.
Aye.
Ferguson. Morris.
Aye.
11 yeas, Mr. President.
Motion carries and ordinance number 10 is adopted. Ordinance number 11, please.
An ordinance amending appropriation ordinance number 239, 2020, and declaring same to be an emergency.
Leader?
Mr. President, I move we adopt ordinance number 11.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that you adopt ordinance number 11. Are there any remarks? Leader?
Mr. President, I move we amend ordinance number 11 per the copy before every council member.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to amend ordinance number 11 per the copy before each of you. Are there any remarks? Hearing none by voice vote, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. The ayes have it, the motion carries. Leader?
Mr. President, I move we adopt ordinance number 11 as amended.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to adopt ordinance number 11 as amended. Are there any remarks under this ordinance as amended? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Smucker.
Aye.
Babcock. Showman.
Aye.
Hawk. Kimbrough. Scaglione. Smith. Hall. Merrill.
Aye.
Ferguson. Morris.
Aye.
11 yeas, Mr. President.
Motion carries and ordinance number 11 as amended has been adopted. Ordinance number 12, please.
Ordinance amending appropriation ordinance number 239, 2020, and declaring same to be an emergency.
Leader?
Mr. President, I move we adopt ordinance number 12.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to adopt ordinance number 12. Are there any remarks? Leader?
Mr. President, I move we adopt ordinance, I move we amend ordinance number 12 by the amendment before every council member.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to amend ordinance number 12 per the copy before each of you. Are there any remarks? Hearing none, by voice vote, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Those opposed, no. The ayes have it, the motion carries. Leader?
Mr. President, I move we adopt ordinance number 12 as amended.
It's been moved and seconded to adopt ordinance number 12 as amended. Are there any remarks under this ordinance as amended? Hearing none. Roll call vote, please.
Smucker.
Aye.
Babcock. Showman.
Aye.
Hawk. Kimbrough. Scaglione. Smith. Hall. Merrill.
Aye.
Ferguson. Morris.
Aye.
10 yeas, 1 abstention, Mr. President.
The motion carries and and ordinance number 12 as amended has been adopted. Ordinance number 13, please.
Ordinance approving accepting the replat of part of lots 12462 through 12466 and all of lots 41857, 41858, and 41860 and declaring same to be an emergency.
Leader?
Mr. President, I move we adopt ordinance number 13.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to adopt ordinance number 13. Are there any remarks?
Mr. President,
Member Merrill.
I just wanted to echo for the record what I said during the committee meeting. I am not in favor of the business that is going to be moving into this location. I don't support the development. Had every intention of voting no and lobbying to have this defeated. But after our law department looked at the legalities of what we're voting on, this vote is an administrative vote, and oversaturation, having a business go into this area that is not, in my opinion, ideal or needed, is not a legal reason to vote no or to defeat this. And it would open us up to potential litigation that we would more than likely lose. I would like to thank the law director for having her office look into oversaturation laws and what other cities have done on this topic. But I just wanted to echo that for the record. I will be voting yes on this, but I do not support this development. Thank you.
Thank you, Member Merrill. Are there any additional remarks? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Smucker.
Aye.
Babcock. Showman.
Aye.
Hawk.
No.
Kimbrough. Scaglione. Smith. Hall. Merrill.
Aye.
Ferguson. Morris.
No.
9 yeas, 2 nays, Mr. President.
Motion carries and ordinance number 13 is adopted. Ordinance number 14, please.
An ordinance authorizing Canton to annex the territory known as the Canton Service Center, 30th Street Northeast Annexation Area, containing approximately 6.389 acres, more or less, assigning said territory to Ward 6 of the city, zoning said territory as I-1 Light Industrial District, I-1, and declaring same to be an emergency.
Leader?
Mr. President, I move we adopt ordinance number 14.
It's been moved and seconded to adopt ordinance number 14. Are there any remarks? Hearing none. Roll call vote, please.
Smucker.
Aye.
Babcock. Showman.
Aye.
Hawk. Kimbrough. Scaglione. Smith. Hall. Mario. Ferguson. Morris.
Aye.
11 yeas, Mr. President.
Motion carries and ordinance number 14 is adopted. Ordinance number 15, please.
An ordinance authorizing the auditor to pay B&H Photo Video LLC a moral obligation amount not to exceed $1,819.79 for the fire department, declaring same to be an emergency.
Leader?
Mr. President, I move we adopt ordinance number 15.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to adopt ordinance number 15. Are there any remarks? Hearing none. Roll call vote, please.
Smucker.
Aye.
Babcock. Showman.
Aye.
Hawk. Kimbrough. Scaglione. Smith. Hall. Mario. Ferguson. Morris.
Aye.
11 yeas, Mr. President.
Motion carries and ordinance number 15 is adopted. Ordinance number 16, please.
Ordinance authorizing the Mayor, Director of Public Safety to enter into all sole source professional services contracts necessary with Wi-Fiber LLC for additional cloud storage not to exceed $120,000 annually. Enter into all contracts necessary in accordance with any procurement process authorized by either the Ohio Revised Code or Canton Codified Ordinances, and to enter into all professional services contracts for the installation of the above referenced hardware and software needed for the project. Authorize the auditor to pay all moral obligations that arise with this project and declaring same to be an emergency.
Leader?
Mr. President, I move we adopt ordinance number 17.
Second. 16.
I'm sorry. I move we adopt ordinance number 16.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to adopt ordinance number 16. Are there any remarks? Hearing none. Roll call vote, please.
Smucker. Babcock. Showman.
Aye.
Hawk. Kimbrough. Scaglione. Smith. Hall. Mario. Ferguson. Morris.
Aye.
11 yeas, Mr. President.
Motion carries and ordinance number 16 is adopted. Ordinance number 17, please.
Ordinance authorizing the auditor to pay Massimo Americas, Inc., a moral obligation amount not to exceed $3,360 for the fire department, declaring same to be an emergency.
Leader?
And I move we adopt ordinance number 17.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to adopt ordinance number 17. Are there any remarks? Hearing none. Roll call vote, please.
Smucker.
Aye.
Babcock. Showman.
Aye.
Hawk. Kimbrough. Scaglione. Smith. Hall. Mario. Ferguson. Morris.
Aye.
11 yeas, Mr. President.
Motion carries and ordinance number 17 is adopted. Ordinance number 18, please.
An ordinance authorizing the lighting improvements at the Stark US 30 Raff Whipple interchanges and declaring same to be an emergency.
Leader?
Mr. President, I move we adopt ordinance number 18.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to adopt ordinance number 18. Are there any remarks? Hearing none. Roll call vote, please.
Smucker. Babcock. Showman.
Aye.
Hawk. Kimbrough. Scaglione. Smith. Hall. Mario. Ferguson. Morris.
Aye.
11 yeas, Mr. President.
Motion carries and ordinance number 18 is adopted. We're now under announcement of committee meetings.
Mr. President,
Member Merrill.
Finance will meet April 19th at 6:30 here in council chambers.
Thank you, Member Merrill. Member Ferguson.
President? Oh, I'm sorry.
Student Economic Development Committee will be the 19th at 6:30 also.
Thank you, Member Ferguson. Member Schulman.
Yes, Judiciary will meet same time, same place.
Thank you, Member Schulman. Member Kimbrough. Thank you, Member Kimbrough. We are now under miscellaneous business. Is there anything under miscellaneous business?
Mr. President.
Mayor Burnaby.
Mr. President, members of council, I wanted to give an opportunity specifically to Fonda tonight to address some of the issues that were, raised by Ms. Cliffy Davis during her questions about public speaks with regard to summer camps and summer youth employment. A lot of planning has been done. In fact, if you will look at communication number 93 on your agenda tonight, that is a communication that sends to City Council the 2021 annual plan, which is required by Housing and Urban Development with regard to CDBG, ESG, and home funds. So some segment of that applies to summer camps and some summer youth employment. But also, of course, the city will be receiving funds under ARP, the American Rescue Plan. Those funds are not yet received and are not anticipated probably for another 30 days. There are no Treasury regulations on those as yet. But again, planning is ongoing with regard to those, with regard to summer youth employment, also between the city of Canton and our school district that we're working together with. So Fonda, if you could please provide us some information concerning all of the above. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. And just to piggyback with our federal funds, which are on the agenda tonight, we went through an RFP process to work with many of our partners to be able to provide camps for this summer. So specifically, when we're talking about summer youth camps, we'll be working with Enrichment, with Betty Smith, who puts on a Fine Arts Academy. And again, 99% of our programs are for low to moderate income children, and that's because of the federal funds we're utilizing. We also have a program through Stark County Community Action Agency called Stepping Off to College. It's a college preparatory program for, again, low to moderate income young people. We have a partnership with Malone University. This gives inner city kids an opportunity to experience careers in wildlife. We work with a local church called Tikva Hands of Hope. They have a summer program every year that teaches kids about financial literacy and things of that nature. We have also a partner, Stark County Community Action Agency, who runs Camp 707. This camp is specifically for young people who live in the 44707 zip code, and this program covers education enrichment. We work with the Eric Snow Family YMCA with their Achievers program. And just so you know, they're only one of 3 communities in Ohio that was chosen to offer this program. This program offers mentoring, tutoring, self-esteem workshops, again, to inner city young people. Tom Todd Ideals, again, a great summer program we'll be working with. They're an excellent partner. PACS, Project Academic Excellence, it has been around for about 30 years now. We're proud to partner with the program folks for that particular program. Also, First Tee, that's another partner of ours for summer camps. Also, another program that Stark County Community Action Agency runs is a youth enrichment program that touches well over 60 kids. And then we even have a volleyball camp with Malone University. And then Dolores Presley has a program strictly for young women called She Elevates. So with all the ones I mentioned, and there's some more, we will touch over 500 young people, and that's just through summer camps, and that's utilizing the federal funds that the mayor talked about, which is referenced in Communication 93. In regards to summer youth employment, we are working with Stark County Community Action Agency as well as Canton City Schools to put together, in my opinion, a robust summer youth employment. And this particular program will be in response to COVID. And what our plans are is for our young people to be in a classroom and have the opportunity to deal with credit recovery and then academic assistance, because many of them have not kept up to par where they should be in their academics. So we like to have them part of the day in the classroom. The other part of the day, they will be transported to a local employer so they can learn some what I call gainful employment and real life work experience. We will have some young people working in our parks because that's necessary, as well as in our neighborhoods. But for the most part, we are working a plan right now to have them aligned with a local employer so they can have a real life practical experience. Canton City Council will be receiving a communication at our next meeting to put the proper funding in place for the summer employment piece to move forward. But I can tell you planning has been well underway, and we're looking forward to a wonderful summer to help our young people in summer 2021. Thank you.
Mr. President.
Leader.
Mr. Williams, on the summer camp program, how are we getting the word out for that?
Well, I mean, all of the different agencies that I mentioned that we work with, trust me, they have no problem whatsoever getting young people. I'll be happy to talk more about it when the legislation comes before council. I can even share with you a spreadsheet of the funding that we have recommended to the mayor to move forward with our partners and the number of young people we're trying to touch.
How many summer hires are we looking at?
Right now, we're planning for just over 100, and that's just strictly from city funding. We have a request in the Canton City Schools to match our funding, which would double our numbers. Hopefully, I'll have that number for you all this week.
And that would be through the Canton City Schools, we would be advertising that?
Yes, through Canton City Schools, that's correct, and a partnership with Stark County Community Action Agency.
Thank you, Mr. Williams.
Thank you.
Mr. President.
Member Hall.
Two things. The first one, through the summer help that the administration puts on in different departments, can we make sure this year and do our best that these are residents of Canton City, so we're hiring kids that can help their families? Second thing, with the next COVID dollars coming through, may we get a report of which agencies and businesses receive funding through the first COVID spending?
Mr. President.
Deputy Mayor.
Member Hall, yes and yes.
Short and to the point. Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Member Kimbrough. Member Kimbrough, hold that thought. Let Clerk Doherty bring the mic over for you so everybody can hear you real quick.
Okay. I had a question about, I know the park levy is coming up, and I had a question about how the money was spent from the last levy. Is there someone that could give me a report on how the money was spent and where the money was spent on the last levy?
Mayor Burnaby.
Member Kimbrough, we will be glad to give you a very specific report. A park levy is an issue campaign, and therefore it's required under all of the campaign funding requirements of the Secretary of State to report all funding, but essentially the money is spent, as in many campaigns, for mailers predominantly, for yard signs predominantly, for door hangers, for radio ads, and things of that nature that are normally used in an issue political campaign. But we can provide you an actual report both for the current levy year to date and also for the 2016 levy.
Thank you.
Thank you, Member Kimbrough. Is there anything else under miscellaneous business? I do have one thing. Over the last month and a half, I've got numerous complaints from numerous constituents that live within the city about people that are parking in their front yards, people that are parking on the sidewalks, people that are, and along with numerous other issues that we have with our city right now. I just want to let everybody know, and especially the council members, that myself and Member Hawk have met with J.R. Rinaldi in Code Enforcement, Matt Bailey in Zoning, Kelly Parker with the Law Department, and it's an ongoing issue with every ward in the city, obviously. That the chief, Angelo, is going to establish basically a traffic task force to handle these issues. And what we're encouraging all the council members, including the constituents that live in the city, to use C-Click Fix. The chief and the police department want to have the paper trail, and their turnaround time, they've been doing fairly well right now. They are. But the chief wants to encourage all the council members that if you have that type of issue going on in your ward, to use C-Click Fix, and they will immediately try to get a turnaround time within 24 to 48 hours. But that's all that they have. And one last thing. Leader Smuckler asked for a moment of silence for Member Fisher's family. I would ask that everybody keep Member Fisher in their prayers, because Rob has been he's had a tough couple of years. He's endured a lot of family tragedy and a lot of losses, but if we could keep Member Fisher in our prayers tonight, that would be greatly, greatly appreciated. Is there anything else under miscellaneous business? Hearing none, Clerk Doherty, our quote for the week, please.
Opportunity is missed by most people because it is dressed in overalls and looks like work. Thomas Edison.
There you go. Leader?
Mr. President, I move we adjourn.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to adjourn. Mr. Clerk, roll call vote, please.
Smuckler.
Aye.
Babcock. Shulman.
Aye.
Hawk. Kimbrough. Scaglione. Smith. Hall. Merrill. Ferguson. Morris.
Aye.
11 yeas, Mr. President.
This meeting is adjourned. Thank you for coming this evening.